This is big for Kikuchi, by the way. You know what? One of the things, and Ryan Divish talked about this, and I think Ryan Roland Smith talked about this. I brought this up, too, when I first saw it. I don't know what it is, but he just hasn't looked like himself the last 2 starts. And whatever the heck it is, he needs to get that competitiveness back. He's got to challenge these batters. You know, you can't pitch around everybody. You're Yusei Kikuchi. You need whatever confidence boost he needs going into this one. You're an all-star pitcher, man. You got to pitch like it, and he didn't in that game against the Yankees before the All-Star break.
That question of whether it's a little bit of fatigue in his arm or if it's between his ears is a really important one right now.
Yeah. What do you think it is?
I think it's more between the ears
Same.
than I think that it is with his arm. And even if a little bit of velocity comes down, yeah, you've got to be able to compensate for that. You've got to be able. His first year, the thing that I felt got him into trouble, and it certainly limited how deep he could go into games, was he nibbled. He nibbled way too much. And whether that's a lack of confidence in his stuff or that pitching away from contact and getting afraid to get hit, I think we've seen a little bit of that. And even if his velocity's down, he's got to find a way to compensate for that. You can't nibble. You can't nibble. You have to, at the very least, make them hit it.
Is nibble pitching away from contact? I've never heard that term before. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice term.
Well, where you're afraid because you start trying to make the perfect pitch.
Yeah.
You start trying to make it, and I only want to just touch the outside edge because you're afraid of a guy getting solid contact on it, instead of saying, hey, that's where I want to put it, but I'm going to challenge him. I don't think they're going to be able to hit this.
And if you want to see where I'm coming from, where Ryan Roland Smith was coming from, go back to the Yankees game if you have the ability to, and just watch the second at bat of the game against Aaron Judge. He threw Aaron Judge nothing that was hittable. And I can understand why Aaron Judge is a good hitter, but it's the first inning, you know? Like, you got to challenge the guy early. Maybe later on in the game when it's a high-leverage situation and your arm's maybe a little bit gassed and you got some guys on base, okay, that's a different situation. But right out of the chute, come on. You're Yusei Kikuchi. You're an all-star.
Is Kikuchi or Gilbert's start more important? Because as Gilbert has risen and had the 2 best starts of his season, Kikuchi has had 2 of the more concerning starts that he's had. And it's made me feel that there might be a change at the topping of the pecking order and who your best pitcher is. It answers, you need both of them. You need both of them to have that sort of top of the rotation kind of stuff. I'd agree with you. This might be the most important start tonight of Yusei Kikuchi's season. Because so far he has had a huge step forward. And a tenure with the Mariners that started off with, we expected more from him than we got the first season. Mm-hmm. Last year, the Mariners thought he pitched better than the results he got. And then this year, where he's been, everybody's looked at, hey, this is the best he's been. He's an all-star. He was chosen to the all-star team. All right, you got to keep that up for the whole season. Like, that's part of it. And that some of this is going to come back to last year not having a full season, and that nobody had a full season, so we don't know how but he's got to be able to maintain that. He's absolutely got to be able to maintain that.
And you're more confident in Logan Gilbert right now. That might not be realistic, but, I mean, with what Gilbert has shown, it feels like he's getting better. And right now with Kikuchi, yeah, there's confidence questions, and there's questions about fatigue. There's questions about, is he going to be able to pitch for an entire season at this level? It's really hard for, I think, any pitcher in baseball, too. So, yeah, if we're picking between the two, it's much more important tonight for Kikuchi, because this is the game that you could potentially win the series on if he can turn it.